Hi, I'm Leta. I'm 13 years old. I have autism and severe dyslexia, and my mentors are Chloe and Mon Arnold, and you shall see a picture of them. And also, I love urban, and I love Hollywood, and I love my puppies. And also, it's all about being my autistic self, and also I stumbled there, blah, blah, blah.
Welcome to this week's Leta's Tap Styles Friends Fridays. We have Marlene Sharp and Judy. I'm going to butcher this last name, aren't I? Uttal?
Uttal.
Okay, great. Do you guys want to introduce yourself for our audience?
Sure.
Okay,
Judy?
I'll go. Yeah, sure. I'll go first. My name's Judy Uttal. I am the president of the Orange County Asperger Support Group, which is a support group in Orange County, California, and we focus on helping teens and adults with autism improve their quality of life. And as part of that, I'm the founder of Autism in Entertainment. We're a work group focused on trying to increase employment for people on the spectrum who want to work in the entertainment industry. And then on top of that, I'm a mom, and I'm the mother of Josh, who is 33 and has high-functioning autism. Graduated from Cal State Fullerton in television and film, and would like to be a film editor. And this is my good friend Marlene.
Hello, I'm Marlene Sharp. I'm Judy's good friend and also an ally and cheerleader for Autism and Entertainment and Orange County Asperger Support Group. And I came to the cause of autism about 4.5 years ago through animation and working with a group of adults on the spectrum who were studying animation as a potential career choice at the Center for Learning Unlimited in Torrance, California. And then in that time that I worked with them, we opened a studio called Brainstorm Productions, which is a for-hire studio, and we brought in clients to commission work from the studio so the artists could get paid. And after that experience, or actually during that experience, I became acquainted with the overall community here in Southern California, and Judy was one of the people that I met who had a profound impact on my life and my career. So most of my career was spent working in merchandise-driven entertainment meant to sell video games and toys to kids, and that's still a part of my day-to-day, but I would say even more of my day-to-day now is working with the autism community, especially creative artists who want to work professionally either as artists, animators, video game designers, actors, all different kinds of things. And so I do a lot of collaboration with Judy and our fellow Autism and Entertainment work group members.
I know I told Leta she was allowed to fangirl out a little bit because on your IMDb, it's got Sonic Boom, and she was like, I'm allowed to fangirl out, right?
Of course, yeah. You wouldn't be the only one. I have a number of young men, mostly, who contact me randomly a lot and ask me to be on their podcast and just want to know the behind the scenes of Sonic. And I haven't worked for Sega for 7 years now, but I still have friends who are there and happy to talk about it, even though P.S. I feel like it's the least interesting thing about me. But if that's what the universe wants of me, who am I to deny the people what they want? So
I told her she was allowed just a little fangirling and then back to normal stuff, right, Leta? She's trying to hold it together.
Of course.
Leta's an aspiring dancer. She wants to work in the industry. You guys both founded Autism and Entertainment. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization and what it does?
Sure. We were founded in May of 2022, and we're kind of a different model than typical nonprofits in that we are a work group. And what we decided was that there's a lot of people in the industry and outside the industry who are stakeholders in this space. And so we wanted to pull these people together and try and drive change. So it's a very different kind of organization. So we have people who have worked their careers in Hollywood, parents of people who have children who are very interested in careers, even people with careers who are on the spectrum. So it's a collection of individuals. When we first started gathering in May of 2022, that was our first meeting, we thought we have this common mission, and the mission is about increasing employment. So what we were observing was that there were a lot of people like Leta who had an interest in entertainment, some area of it, whether it was animation, filmmaking, writing, some area of entertainment, and but then on the other end of it, they were not able to find employment. And a lot of the diversity movement, which was more of a thing a couple years ago, was not focused on neurodiversity. They were focused on ethnic diversity or sexuality diversity, but they weren't focused on neurodiversity. And so we wanted to create change. And the way we first thought we would do it to have a largest impact was to put on a conference. And then a couple months later, there was a grant from the Department of Developmental Services here in California. And it was a grant to do creative things for individuals with developmental disabilities to increase employment. So we thought this was pretty creative. And so we got a grant to put on a conference, which we held on April 5th, 2024. So just a few months ago. And it did exactly what we had hoped it would do. We hoped that it would serve as a lightning rod to bring people together and to identify all our allies and friends who had a common interest. And we went from a database of 0 to a database of 1,600. We found what we called educational partners, which was part of the way I found Marlene, which were organizations who are focused on particular disciplines within the entertainment space and training neurodivergent folks. And we called those people educational partners. We found people in the industry who were on the spectrum, who had already established careers, and we found lots of people on the spectrum who had interests in the entertainment space. And so this conference was amazing. We went way beyond what we planned on doing in terms of the number of people and also in terms of what we ended up accomplishing. We made 6 documentaries before the conference,
Wow.
not to mention how many films we've done since the conference. So bringing together the talent of one of the people in our team, Paul Hemstreet, who is an executive vice president at Warner Brothers for 23 years, where he led the development of the content that typically went with a DVD. So he was the perfect kind of person to lead this team. And he has 2 sons on the spectrum, one who is studying animation at Cal Arts. So the conference was amazing. It had over 400 people in attendance. We videotaped the entire thing. It's on our website. We had 10 different breakout sessions dealing with animation, game design, some targeted at small business, large business, filmmaking, and voiceover and acting. So we had covered quite a bit. The keynote speaker was Jorge Gutierrez, who was extremely inspirational. And it was a day of just warmth and connection and themes about not being fearful of failure, about superpowers and the different way of thinking and why that was so should be treasured by the entertainment industry. So that was in April. Since then, we have wanted to continue the sense of community. And so we have been putting on a webcast every month. We had Ubisoft, a game, one of the second largest game designers, come and talk about their neurodivergent employee resource group. We've had sessions with voiceover actors, with screenplay writers, with we had one just last week or the week before with a company called RealFX talking about technology changes in animation. So we've been doing that. We've had newsletters. We've had a lot of gatherings with some of the friends that we've made, whether it was, I'm thinking of Britt Payne, who's a vice president at Paramount Nickelodeon, who did a special webinar for within Paramount about people on the spectrum, and we did an event with the Laugh Factory where we had a night of comedy. So we've been doing a lot of different activities, all focused on trying to build change and increase employment. And I should mention one last thing, that through our conference we managed to create 32 different employment opportunities and have people on the spectrum working in the industry. So and we continue to try and increase that employment.
That is a great number there. I mean, autism is still a very misunderstood disability. I know I'm getting a look from the teenager.
Understood is an understatement. I'm just saying with so many people keep telling me I'm faking my bad right hip because of my autism. Who fixed the back pain and the hip pain? I mean, seriously. Who fixed not being able to walk really for a long amount of time one day? I mean, that is painful. And then that spooks me because I rarely feel pain in my legs.
She has a bad right hip along with her autism, and she's had so many people go, "Oh, you're just faking it because of your autism."
Oh, no.
Which it's like, that's not one of those things. She's also had...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Judy.
No, go ahead.
She's also had issues with it, like dance classes where traditional dance teachers are like, "Why aren't you looking me in the eyes? You're being disrespectful by not looking me in your eyes." Her voice dropped lower later in life, which is typical for most autistic kids. Why are you speaking like a baby? If you keep speaking like a baby, no one will hire you. You know, it's the things like that. She had one teacher who was like, "Oh, because she's autistic, she's mentally capped at a 3-year-old.
Oh, no. So many labels. So
Yeah.
many misconceptions.
Oh, yeah. And I mean,
Hello, yes, if you keep saying I'm freaking kept at a freaking 3-year-old, then stop telling me and my mother that I'm not the age of freaking 13. I mean, hello, yes, if you thought I was gonna have a whatever T something, yay, blah, 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 high school, even though I was freaking 9.
that makes more sense if you understand her background. She's been an amazing tap dancer, so she's always been up with the older kids. Like when she was 7, she was in with the middle schoolers. By the time she was 9, she was in with the high schoolers. And they were like, "You lied on her stuff because she must be older than she is." And I'm like, "No, I think I was there when she was born. I think I know what year she was born." And yeah, she also, doesn't care about things like her SATs. A couple years ago, they're like, "Why doesn't she care?" And I'm like, "She's in 6th grade 2 years ago. No one cares about it."
Oh, my goodness.
Representation is so important to these kids growing up. How has something like autism in entertainment helped not just identify, but give a safe space for people who are already in the industry who may not be openly autistic to come out and say, "I'm autistic"?
Yeah, those are actually 2 different topics. So let me first deal with the one of representation. When as I've been working in this area, there are two different areas of interest that are related but not necessarily the same. So where our group is focused on a mission of employment and finding people jobs, we haven't been focused on representation. But it turns out that those our allies are, and those things go hand in hand as we look at acting, because what happens with acting is that a lot of times actors have an edge if they are casting a role of somebody on the spectrum, and they can have an opportunity to be cast in those situations. And then they're in a situation where they need to try and expand the roles that they might consider. There's plenty of actors out there who are on the spectrum who are successful, whether it's Dan Aykroyd or, help me Marlene,
Daryl
Hannah. These are actors who are on the spectrum who are excellent actors and have established a career without really even recognition of their diagnosis. As we have been active, there have been opportunities where folks were working with our driving increased representation of people on the spectrum in shows, which is really important to create change. As people get to know the different ways that people on the spectrum might look, they will then in turn expand their view of how they view people on the spectrum. So in January, we're going to have a webcast with the staff of Carl the Collector. Carl the Collector is a brand new series, animated series on PBS Kids, and it's about Carl, who's a raccoon who is a collector who happens to be on the autism spectrum. And so they cast 2 10-year-old children to appear in the show who are on the spectrum. There are a number, Marlene is working with a lot of the community. Marlene, you want to talk about God's Gang and some of the stuff you've seen happen in terms of roles and expanded content featuring people on the spectrum?
Yeah, a lot of things going on, from film festivals, people on the spectrum creating excuse me, content that have been entered in film festivals and being shown. God's Gang is an animated series that's on YouTube, and one of the producers attended our Autism in Entertainment conference and really was so moved by everything that he saw. He really has gone above and beyond in seeking out opportunities for the community within the projects that he's involved with. So God's Gang is one of them. He's the head writer. His name is Rob Kuttner. Shout out to Rob if he's listening or watching. But he has partnered with one of our educational partners and did casting for this series within this group. And a significant number of cast members are coming from this pool of neurodivergent actors, and the show has been very proactive about publicizing it. So that's great for visibility for the whole industry. But also we've had other folks contact us at Autism and Entertainment saying, hey, could you put up this casting notice? Like, for instance, Love on the Spectrum asked us to do some preliminary announcements that they're casting for the next season. And then we had a documentary that wanted us to put the word out there for them, and some podcasts and a PBS series we're working with. There's a bunch of things. So when you put the word out there and through the representation, then you seem to attract more interest in the cause and everything.
One of the the educational partners that we've had is the Miracle Project, which is was founded by Elaine Hall. And one of the things that we see, which is a positive way of approaching the representation is, how do you represent? How do you show somebody on the spectrum without just creating more misinformation? And so Elaine is a consultant, and we've met a number of people who are consultants to shows to help them understand how to show representation. And one of the shows that she's been working on is How to Dance in Ohio. So I thought of Leta in terms of, that's the latest Broadway show that features a cast fully autistic. So maybe there'll be some opportunities for her in Broadway.
I know she's partially wanting to go to Broadway, but her mentors are more LA based. So you know how that goes. The free housing is more in LA. So she's like, I'm kind of, she's got some choreographers she works with in New York, but the New York gang and the LA gang tend to fight over their mentorees.
Just like the rap community. There's an East Coast, West Coast hip hop rap rivalry too. So of course it makes sense for dancing.
Well, and she's an urban tap, which is closely related to the rap community.
Yeah. It's adjacent.
So, yeah, you get the same type of beefs and everything that you get.
Always beefs. Oh well.
They're usually a little bit better. They just like to make fun of each other, going, hey, this is my kid now.
So Amanda, you brought up the second part of your question was a question about people basically coming out. And I one of the members of our community is gay, is a lesbian, and she sat through the conference and she said, this reminds me a lot of the gay movement and what was going on for people self-identifying to help make it okay to be gay and to be in Hollywood. And there were a number of speakers at our conference who have made it their focus to communicate that they are autistic. So Scott Steindorf is one of those who is a producer, director, writer, fairly notable, and he just finished he finished a film last year called Understanding Autism, which has been showing on PBS, and he takes pride in the fact that he's on the spectrum. Another one is John Frizzell. John Frizzell is a composer, and he's very, very successful, and he only got an autism diagnosis in the last few years, and it's his mission to make sure people know about autism and to see it as a positive, not a negative. So there's a lot of people who are getting later diagnosis. Jorge Gutierrez, who we mentioned, this scenario happens a lot where the parent of a child who is on the spectrum, they get their child diagnosed and then they realize, wait a second, I've got a lot of those personality quirks myself, maybe I'm on the spectrum. And so what happens a lot of times is a child gets diagnosed and then the parent gets diagnosed. And so, that's something that happened with Jorge. With Jorge, and he is just an angel in terms of how he is making himself available to the autism community, talking about the strengths and superpowers he has because of his autism, and building a lot of awareness and community around it. So there is that. There were speakers during our conference who said, there are a lot more of us out there, people on the spectrum, who either don't know they're on the spectrum or don't say they're on the spectrum. And so there was a lot of that happening during the conference. But, everybody has to approach understanding who they are and how they deal with who they are in their own way. And so I'm respectful of people choosing when or if they want to share personal information.
I mean, it is up to you to decide whether or not you want to share it. I know when I was growing up, everything all my therapist told me was, you're high functioning enough. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Just mask it. And so anything that allows people to be openly autistic is something that I'm interested in, because it's like, you shouldn't be told by other people that you have to mask it.
That, you know, we should talk about girls on the spectrum, because my son's 33. When during that early phase when he was diagnosed, it was 80% male in terms of the number of people diagnosed, and there weren't that many young girls being diagnosed with autism. To a large degree, it was because of the ability of that population to mask and to try and fit in. And as I meet girls on the spectrum, I know that it looks so different when you're a young lady with autism versus, you know, a young man. Not that everybody's the same or anything. It just looks really different, and the personal experiences are very different. And so so the journey is very different. So I appreciate what you were being told, because I think that is what girls have been told. I mean, girls were, no matter whether it's autism or anything else, it's very confusing to be a young lady or to be a woman, because no matter what you do, everybody wants you to behave, puts a label on you and wants you to behave differently. So they want you to be more feminine, or they want you to be less feminine, or they want you to be more assertive, or they want you to be less assertive. And you can never make any of these people happy. So the most important thing that we learn as we mature is what makes me happy. You know, because to try and please everybody else is exhausting and isn't a way to find your purpose and who you are and what you want to achieve.
And it's a lot more freeing, and you're a lot happier just being yourself.
I don't know if you've seen the recent Ellen DeGeneres special on Netflix, but this is very much what she talks about, and how confusing messages are to little girls and women and adult. She emphasizes that she's never reached a point in her life where she could feel like she could just be herself. I mean, maybe now, and maybe with this comedy special, but she talks about how she was kicked out of the entertainment industry twice, and how when she was a little girl, she was taught to be very submissive and obedient, and she's like, that's not me. That was never me, and it was always very difficult. So yeah, and she says she talks about being on the spectrum, and she does a little bit about it, and then she said, but all of you are on the spectrum too, because it's a spectrum.
It really is.
So she's saying she's on the spectrum?
Yeah, that's what she said. She said, it's almost like, Amanda, what you said. Ellen said she's on the spectrum, but her doctors have told her not to call attention to it, because she's not as much on the spectrum as other people, so just forget about it. So she's like,
sounds familiar.
So just my little, I'm not, my background is not entertainment. My background is technology and marketing. But I come from LA, and so family members are, and one of Dennis's cousins is Tracy Newman, and Tracy was the producer, the head of the Ellen DeGeneres show when she came out, Ellen. So she was helped be responsible for that episode. So it's interesting to note that next year when we're looking for our keynote, maybe we get
I know. Yeah, because she coming out, of course, is part of this new special, and that's part of her identity, but she talks about coming out twice, because she's also come out, the whole special is about her identity, and it's called For Your Approval, and about how her whole life she's been seeking approval, just when she thinks she's got something down, then she's criticized for something else. And so she kind of references the fact that this special, she's coming out as a gay woman again, and she's coming out as on the spectrum, and she's coming out as a sometimes mean person because of the scandal with the thing on the set of her talk show. And it's very funny. It's so clever and very simple, plain talk, but really resonates.
It was, like I said, at Leta's age, I had therapists going, you have to make friends and they can't know you're autistic, and you have to do this, and you just cannot show them your autism. And now I had a teacher who's mad at me because I won't acknowledge her because I'm like, you treated me bad this entire time. And she was like, well, I mean, why don't you have any friends anymore? And I'm like, well, because you told me to mask. They didn't know me.
Hello, yes.
It's a shame.
One
Yeah,
teacher.
that's really sad.
Leta's talking.
To that one teacher, if you're watching this, if you ever talk to my mama again, so help me, I will go off on you. I don't care if I'm freaking 13. I don't care if I'm in the jail. If you so dare talk to my mama, so help me, I will not hold back. You will feel my wrath, and it won't be just word wrath.
She's a little opinionated when it comes to her mommy.
That's admirable.
No, that's really important, Amanda, because the parent-child relationship is really important. And if you can have a strong relationship, that really helps. As I've worked with lots of people on the spectrum, that's the important thing, because life is full of challenges, and you need to have somebody that you can go to that you trust and that will help you through those challenges. And so having that strong bond is not something you can just assume you're going to have. It takes work to create it. And what I like about you reminds me of myself is that you are about making her dreams come true and about making her be comfortable in her own skin and giving her the support that she needs. And in return, she's giving you unconditional love. And so I think that's wonderful and something that the both of you should be very proud of and appreciative of, because it's not something you can just assume.
I appreciate that. I think am working through, though, and I've told her all the stuff that I was told. But I do love how close of a relationship we have. One of the things we've been telling on our podcast is we meet a lot of parents who do want their kids to mask still. And they don't want them in something like Autistic Wings because they're like, I just want a traditional child who becomes like an Elon Musk or Steve Jobs of the world.
You know, that's a real challenge. Because in one respect, we all have to adapt. It's kind of like social adapting to be effective, you know. And so there's a bit of that you need to do to be effective. But at the same time, we had this whole conversation about being comfortable who you are, and having society accept who you are, and having that not work against you. It's a real challenge. So,
and I love.
So it's hard. It's a hard thing. I think another thing that happens with parents too that adds to that, and this is something that you got to watch, is that a lot of times parents identify their children as an extension of themselves, and so they live through their child. So I say I have 2 eyes, 2 ears, and 2 kids is some way that many parents look at their children as an extension of themselves. And so when their child behaves in a certain way, they internalize it. And when they want things for their child, they're internalizing it. And so being able to see your child as a separate individual and not feeling personally involved in all their life experiences is a challenge for some parents to do. And it's a challenge even for every parent from time to time. So because we want our children to be happy and successful.
I do love how they keep picking Elon when people are talking to me, and I'm like, you do know he's late diagnosed autistic, right?
Autistic, he made an armadillo card, he made a freaking armadillo card, he made an armadillo card.
I should explain that one. She thinks the Cybertruck looks like an armadillo.
It's the most hideous thing. I don't get it.
That's that square kind of.
Yeah.
It looks like some kind of a kindergarten block that someone turned into a car.
Or a Minecraft
I didn't
card.
know that it was called the Cybertruck because it has no markings on it. So
Yeah,
thank you for enlightening me. We see them all the time here in LA. I guess they're in other places too.
And it's supposed to be a pickup truck.
Wow. Okay. Well, it has people talking, I guess, which
This
is
armadillo
always
card.
part of the Elon Musk brand.
It is part of his brand.
It's an armadillo card. It's-
We enjoyed having you two on so much. We would love to have you guys on again later, if that's okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd love to meet some of your allies who live in our neighborhood.
Oh, definitely. I need to send you an email with people's names and contact information from the dance world. Things
Yeah,
just
that
got
would be
away from me this month.
Of
Does
course.
she travel? Leta, do you travel and perform in other places, or do you pretty much just stay put in? You live in Colorado, right?
Yeah, that's up to Leta, you can answer that question. Yeah, go ahead, answer the question.
Oh, yes, I do that.
No, she works really closely with Chloe Arnold and is part of Chloe's Soul Talk, which is based out of LA. So we're in LA on a regular basis.
Okay. Well, we're planning some stuff, and that might have a dance component. So that might be something we could follow up on, Marlene.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. And Chloe is the choreographer for So You Think You Can Dance, or
She
does? Or
So she was with So Think You Can Dance. I think she was dancing on it. Cherish McDowell was either a producer or a judge on So You Think You Can Dance.
oh, okay.
Then Chloe works really closely with Debbie Allen Dance Academy. Like that's
okay.
Leta's second home.
Okay.
If you ever saw the Late Late Show with James Corden and the Crosswalk the musical, that was Chloe Arnold.
Oh boy, those are magnificent.
She
Those
also
are just
did
magnificent,
The
yeah.
Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell Christmas movie that came out a couple of years ago, Spirited.
Oh, okay.
That was her choreography.
Oh boy. Wow.
And that's the style of tap Leta does.
So Josh, my son Josh, when he was a dancer, we live in Orange County, he would take the train to LA and then the light rail to North Hollywood, and he went to the Debbie Reynolds studio there and danced. And then they used to have a lot of activities where a lot of Twitch and all those different dancers taught down here. So
Yeah.
that was
Wow,
like,
Judy, I didn't know Josh is a dancer. That's really cool.
he was really, really good, but what happened is he fell and he hurt his knee, and so he hasn't really done that much of it since, but he's really good.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it.
Twitch
A man of
was
many
really
talents.
close.
Oh, yes, I remember it, Amanda. You talked about Twitch when we first chatted.
Yeah,
It's
he's.
sad. It's so sad that he's gone.
Oh, yeah. He was very close to all of Leta's mentors. So it was a sad day around here because she had taken a few hip hop classes on Zoom during COVID with him and everything.
Oh.
Um,
And is it
Yeah.
Katie Shin? My mom was friends with her aunt or something. I used to take my mom to they used to have like a gala night once a year, and my mom was a huge So You Think You Could Dance fan, and so we would meet, and Josh and her and I would go and watch the show, and they're so amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda and Leta. It's great to meet both of you.
It was great. Like I said, we'd love to have you guys come back on the podcast. And whenever you guys have something big you want to shout out, we'd love to have you on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Hey, Leta, this holiday season, we've been asking our listeners and viewers and our amazing community here at Leta's Tap Styles to donate to Autistic Wings Dance Company, haven't we?
Yes.
Can you really quickly tell us why Autistic Wings Dance Company is a near and dear thing to your heart?
This is. I'm not good at English and sappy stuff. You know this. You know I don't do feelings. You know this. You know I don't do feelings. You know I don't do feelings like a teenage boy who's very bad at sappy stuff.
Okay, could you tell our community what Autistic Wings is if they've just stumbled upon you for the first time?
Let's see. You probably obviously hear the autism, but if you don't, autistic people. And butterflies. Because like butterflies.
And maybe if you
Yeah,
tap-
dance move.
I mean-
Butterflies. Butterflies.
You do-
Butterflies.
I don't know why I tried to talk space. You do like tap wings, though, correct?
Yes. But we have a butterfly on the thing, so.
Leta, how many people? Do you know how many people the board is looking for as recurring donors every month at $10 a month?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Would you like some
9,
help?
10. Yes.
To cover the costs we would like covered at $10 a month, we would like 350 people to step up this holiday season and become recurring donors for next year. We know that's a lot of money, don't we, Leta? $10 is a lot in today's economy.
That is a lot of money.
You can just give us one. You can. You can just give us one. I don't care about what she says. You can't just give us one. Or a nickel. I'll take a nickel. I'll probably steal the nickel, but still, I'll take a nickel. I will steal the nickels, though. I like coins.
Thing. If people can't donate, would sharing about the Autistic Wings Dance Company fundraiser be just as helpful?
Yes. And I will take a cute picture of whatever type of snoot or animal or bug that you pretend has a snoot. I like animals. And pooping snoots. I don't care about poisonous stuff.
We're recording this promo that's going to be on multiple of our podcasts on December 16th. We are $150 away from making rent this month. So if people could get onto our donor box and donate, that would be great though. Right, Leta?
Yes. Also, if you can't send us a picture of your cute little animal, just poop their snoot for me. Or their fangs. For if it's a tarantula.
This is why we never get anything done the way we should. Where do people go to do donations, Leta?
Stuff. Internet? Stuff
Yes,
internet?
www.autisticwingsdancecompany.org. The link, as usual, is in the description. If you're watching this on YouTube, it'll be in the description below. If you're listening on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple, there will be a link on those as well.
Just go to the internet. That's all you have to do. Go onto the internet.
I mean, that is definitely one way to do it. Just go onto the internet. We're in the middle of a promo and you are eating your microphone. That's great. All right. Well, happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for watching as usual. And please, if you have the ability to give, we're $150 away from rent on December 16th, 2024. If you could find it in your heart to help us out with that last 150, that would be great. If it's past that, trust me, we're a nonprofit. We are always needing money. Happy holidays, everyone. Are you getting Jack into the camera real quick? Is that it? You're going to say happy holidays.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
you.
Bye.
Hello, thank you for watching the podcast, and please subscribe, and also look at the adorable paper. So if you want to subscribe for it, and also please leave a like, and don't forget, if you subscribe to our stuff, you won't miss any of our new podcast stuffies. And also, did you see the adorable paper? Don't you like it?